Hello, welcome back to another episode of Coffee with a Kick. We are here for Matchday 23 and Matchday 7 of the Champions League, which we will be starting off with here in just a moment. I am Xander, and that is Keegan, and he is Keegan, and I am Xander. Anything that you want to say before we get kicked off here for our Champions League brief recap?
You know, as far as picks go, wasn't too bad, but as far as fandom goes, wasn't amazing midweek, but some interesting results though. I will say
the number of picks that we got right was good. The units that we had was not. Even a perfect pick couldn't really save me, even though I went 500 on actual picks. This week in particular for the Champions League, we got blown out of the water by the favorites. If you just went favorites, you went 13-5, which is they had a lot of very toss-ups. They had a lot of coin flips that went their way just by a scooch. So, with a grain of salt, I'd say, but still, numbers is numbers. So, just to briefly recap that action. Most of them, as we said in the preview episode, not a lot of interesting things happening from the glance of it. But, anytime that somebody wins 5-0 or 5-1, as my screen is not cooperating with me here, as Atalanta did against Sturm Graz and Real Madrid did against Salzburg. I mean, those are both bottom feeder teams in the tournament anyways, but still, 5 goals is quite a bit.
Yeah, I almost had a perfect pick on that Real Madrid one until the late goal by Salzburg. That was annoying, but big matches for me. PSG City, obviously a big one. City crumble again. Not just losing a 2-0 lead, but end up giving up 4 goals there at the end. Bayern, obviously a big team. They go down 3-0 to Feyenoord.
I mean, it's at Feyenoord and you get a red card, but still, that's a terrible result.
Yeah, the red card, I mean, it came in the 90th minute. It literally had no impact on any of the goals that were scored.
So you were already sunk by that point.
Yeah. And I think what I'm noticing here is the teams that are in form now, with how the Champions League is kind of playing out, I think it benefits them a lot moving into the next round. Because typically in the past, you had the group stage in the fall, knockout stage in the spring.
There was a more continuity between the two. Yeah,
there was a healthy gap. So, if you were a hot team like Brest and you win your first 5 games, it's like, whoa, we're looking good. But then a 2-month break, layoff, you go and play a team that's pretty good. You kind of lose that form. But now there's that nice continuity towards we're just actually playing in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, whatever it is. So I think a team like Feyenoord, who's picked up 7 of their last 9 points, they keep it up next week. You have a team that could go far simply due to just how hot they are.
That is a good call. Just because there is still, I mean, Celtic even, their competition wasn't great in this one, but they've secured a place. They're now fully safe from. They are making it through to the next round, which, I mean, that's great for Celtic because they are typically bottom of the table teams in the old format. But speaking of moving on, we still have 3 teams that are trying to fight to get their way into the knockout stages. Man City being one of them. They are, however, if you're going to be in this position, they're in the position which you want to be because it is a win-in scenario for them. They play Brugge, correct? Yeah, they play Club Brugge next week. And if they win that, they're into the finals. Well, into the knockouts. They're past the group, the league stage of the tournament. Right. Dynamo Zagreb also have a chance to move through. I believe their opponent is much tougher, though. Let me get to my fixtures page.
I think they host AC Milan.
Yeah, not a great matchup for them there, obviously. And then Shakhtar, with their win in this midweek, are actually possibly going to be able to move through, but they will definitely need some help. They're playing Borussia Dortmund, who are not in good form, but they would also need either Stuttgart, PSG, not safe technically. I mean, they are because of their goal difference. They're at a 2-goal difference, and Shakhtar's at -6. So it's unlikely that they're going to lose out to Shakhtar. However, I bet you're probably about to say that if both Man City and Dynamo Zagreb win and PSG loses, they would be out. Depending on the Sporting CP.
So the fact that PSG plays Stuttgart,
that's
Stuttgart
big.
know that there's some pressure behind them, and it's at Stuttgart. So I mean, that could be probably the match of the week.
If Stuttgart wins that, if Stuttgart wins that by 2, that flips their positioning. That takes PSG down to a 0-goal difference, and I mean Shakhtar would have to score 6 goals in order to leapfrog them from there, but Man City and Dynamo Zagreb both would just be at 11 if they win. So, Sporting draws, Stuttgart wins 2-0, Man City and Dynamo Zagreb win, PSG is out of the knockouts, even with their victory over Man City, which would be crazy. I mean, City would be crazier probably, but
Sporting hosts Bologna. Bologna's been in decent form, but even Bologna, what are they playing for? They're at 5 points. And outside the last 2 match weeks, they only picked up a point outside of those. So, based on form, Stuttgart PSG is going to be a good game. Both won their last 2. The PSG City one, that when you go back and watch the highlights, City dominate most of the game. It was really just a few chances on the wing. Matheus Nunes playing out of position at left and right back. I don't think it's working out because he was the culprit for probably 3 of their 4 goals. And I think they knew that they could expose that. But I don't know. I think Stuttgart, if they can just stay in the match, I think at home they could use the fans to their advantage and knock out PSG. That would be fun. It would be fun.
Yeah, it would not take too much for PSG to get knocked out. I mean, obviously, City still has to earn their way in, but City wins, they're up at 11. That's above them, so that knocks them down to 23rd. And if Stuttgart beats them, it'll depend on the sporting match, which you said they're playing outside. That's already totally out of it. We still have 2 pointless teams remaining, Slovan Bratislava and Young Boys. I don't expect that to change going into this last one. But, we'll see. RB Leipzig at least got on the board some. So, man, -20 goal difference for Young Boys. That is a tough look. That is a tough look for Young Boys.
I mean, Young Boys host Svernesvedja, so they've got a shot there.
They do.
To get a point. Bratislava going to Bayern. So
well, Bayern just, choked on it, so at Bayern
or maybe a tad bit better than Slovan, but boy, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But that's enough of our Champions League. We'll be back with the preview for that on the other side of the weekend, because there's one more midweek action for that before they draw and then placement for the new knockout stages.
Yeah, so all at the same time, which I don't love. I don't love that.
It is a lot to digest.
I get that they're trying to make it competitive. If I'm a team and I know I'm safe on Tuesday and I play on Wednesday, I probably am not going to trot out some of my better players. So I get it. Don't love it when there's 9 matches. How many matches are 18 matches? 18 at 1 hour?
Have to. Not only would you have to be watching a Golazo show, you have to be watching simulcasts of separate Golazo shows in order to probably cover everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's wild. It's my Paramount Plus subscription will not probably won't even cover all 18 games. I don't know. But
there's too much going on for this. You're only on the base plan. You still get commercials, you pleb. No. No, let me watch the soccer. All right, let's move on to our Premier League predictions for Matchday 23. Let's hop on over there. Got a good one coming up with Manchester City and Chelsea. We'll see how that goes. But first, we need to start off where everything starts off. Well, technically, it's just because of alphabetical order, because there's a lot of 10 a.m. matches on Saturday. But Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, actually, this is quite a good match. This should be a good match here. Both these teams are riding pretty good right now. I mean, Bournemouth just came off a big win against Newcastle last week, and Nottingham Forest with their their win over Southampton, coming off of the draw against Liverpool. But how do you think this one's going to shake out here? Both teams are certainly fighting for higher positioning than they would have expected at the beginning of the year.
Well, one, doing my research for this game, I found out the Nottingham Forest nickname is the Tricky Trees.
Oh, are they now?
That's what they're saying, the Tricky Trees. I don't know if I'll ever refer to them as that, but
I mean, if I'm calling them the Tractor Boys, I gotta call them Tricky Trees now.
Yeah, that's fair. Both teams are in good form. It's really hard to pick a winner, so I have a 2-2 draw.
Oh, I just put it. I'll go 1-1. I'll go 1-1.
Like, really, no team in the last 10 Premier League matches have won more points than Nottingham. 25 out of 30 possible points. They're on it. Bournemouth, I think, especially at home, they might be on a 10 or 11 game match unbeaten streak. So it's a good one. If any team wins, I want to give the edge to Bournemouth because they're at home.
Really?
But Nottingham's playing so well. One fun stat about this game is in their last 5 Premier League meetings, the team that scores first has not won a single match.
That's
so
interesting.
Whoever scores first, someone else, they might not win.
I did put I did have a 2-2 draw. I changed it to a 1-1 draw. But now, with you saying that, I think it's going to be a 1-2 victory for Nottingham Forest. Mainly, it's a units play because they still the odds makers still put Nottingham Forest as like the true dog here. Like they're a full 1.5 better units wise than picking Bournemouth. So it's not even a toss up in their book. Bournemouth is a true favorite here with the home field advantage and current performance. But still, Nottingham is in third, you know? Hey, put some respect on my name. Put some respect on them Tricky Trees' names, all right? I'm going to take Nottingham outright here.
Last 10. They've only won 8 of their last 10.
Yeah, only 8 of their last 10. Only drew Liverpool 1-1 in like a solid match. You know, it's they're garbage, obviously. So I'm going to go 2-1 Nottingham Forest. Just try to get some more squeeze some more units out of them, all right? Then we will go to Brighton Hove Albion hosting Everton. This one I think is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to give Brighton the 2-0 win over Everton. Just they're a better team and they're playing. Both teams are playing pretty well comparatively. Like Everton, after they changed gears against Tottenham. I don't know. Tottenham, it may not be a good win in the end, but they're coming off that with some heat, I feel like. Everton is. And I just think that Brighton is a better team overall.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Both teams not in amazing form until literally their last game. Brighton, not in amazing form at home. Their last 4 at home, drawn 3, lost 1. I think Everton with their new manager, David Moyes, I think they'll figure something out. I have it 2-2. I think they have the stuff. Brighton just they don't play well at home. It's like the exact opposite of last season. Last season, they were the home dogs. If they're away, you can just bet against them. They will not win. This year, it's the opposite. Most of their wins have come away from home. So I'm going to think they stick to that form and they draw.
We'll see. I don't trust Everton. I don't trust Everton that much yet. So we'll see if they can prove me wrong. And then we move to one that we don't have to talk about for very long. Liverpool and Ipswich Town. I don't think even you can pick against Liverpool in this one. What's the scoreline for you?
Well, Liverpool have won their last 3 league games versus Ipswich by an aggregate score of 13-0.
Oh.
So they clearly dominate the match. I think that extends to 17-1. I think they win 4-1. And I think that they, like you're saying, I think first half they put it to bed. 2-0, 3-0 at halftime. Second half, ship out some subs, rest some players. I don't think Ipswich has a chance in this one.
Yeah, I don't either. I had it 4-1 as well, but now I have it as 5-1. The Tractor Boys are going to get one on them, but it's only going to be 1/5 of what they need. Not a chance for Tractor Boys. 20 units. I'm not touching it. Not touching it. Then we move to Southampton versus Newcastle United, hosting Newcastle United. For this one, I like Newcastle. You're so volatile right now. After coming off of your huge victory, you drop an egg against Bournemouth. So do I trust you to get back into your winning ways? I have to, right? It's Southampton. There's no way that Southampton's going to get their first win in this one today. Right? Right. Yes, correct. In fact, I think it will go with a 3-0 victory for Newcastle over Southampton.
Yeah. Southampton is getting into unprecedented territory with how bad they are. Their 6 points is the joint second lowest of any top flight season in English football ever through 22 games. They're tied with Sheffield United from 75-76. And only Bolton in 1902-1903 had fewer. They had 3 points in 22 games. Southampton, they've won one of their last 35 Premier League matches. I think that continues. I have it 3-0. I don't think it'll be super crazy. Because, again, I think Newcastle's going to get up early, start to kind of like work in some possession work. It'll be a training ground by second half. So Newcastle will do it.
Fine. I'll move mine to 2-0 victory then. I'll move it to 2-0.
I mean, I'm happy to change it to 4-0 because I think this could get pretty. I'll change mine to 4-0.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We can't fully agree. Remember that because it will be wrong if we do that.
If we fully agreed on this one, Southampton would win 1-0.
Probably. Maybe even 3-0. No, I'm not crazy. I'm not going crazy here. Then we go to my Wolves hosting Arsenal. I'll let you start this one off because...
Wolves win 2-1.
Wow.
Arsenal, they've just been about as volatile as Newcastle. They're injured. Arteta is the most negative manager, I think, in the Premier League, outside of Amorim.
Yeah.
But I think Amorim says his statements with positivity, at least. Like, yeah, we're the worst, but only go up from here. Arsenal, though, I mean, they could win 3-0 and Arteta would find something wrong. I think that Wolves win 2-1. I think it'll be a classic victory. 2 years ago, Wolves beat City 2-1 in a pretty classic victory. I think they do it again this time. I
mean, I wish I could have that confidence. I'm going to take a page out of your book from this week and take a 2-2 draw. So getting that point, just a little bit more safety at the bottom of that table, maybe. Not super confident, but we are at the Molineux. That doesn't mean a lot this year, but maybe the fans will carry us through. Maybe we'll only give up 2 set-piece goals this time. Maybe,
Maybe.
If ifs and buts and candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. You know what I mean? Manchester City and Chelsea. The headline from this week, Manchester City. I mean, speaking of volatile, Manchester City, who are we even going to get? Like they're not even the same team within the same 15-minute span at this point in the season. As you can see from recent results, giving up 2-goal victories and then just winning nicely, and then giving up 2-goal victories again. Will they give up a 2-goal victory here, or will they win? Or will they draw?
Well, Chelsea has kind of been the little brother to City for a while now. Arsenal was, and they kind of rose up. I don't think Chelsea is quite there yet. I mean, the reverse fixture, what was it, 4-4? Pretty thrilling reverse fixture earlier in the season. I'm going to go 4-2. I still think Chelsea has some issues in defense. City obviously do as well. But I think the style of play is just going to clash with what Chelsea want to do. So I'm going to go 4-2. I think City can score goals. At this point, it's just can we stay organized long enough to get the result we want?
I'm going to take City 2-1 just because if I'm getting 2 units for picking City to win, I feel like I got to do that. I think that's just... I wouldn't say it's a prudent financial investment because you could just be wrong and lose all your money. But at least it's a good bet. Literally, it's just a good bet. I want to take it. And Chelsea, they were on that streak recently, but they've kind of fallen off since then. obviously because they had 2 losses battered in there after their big streak between week 9 and week 17. They've sort of righted the ship a little bit, but a draw against Crystal and Bournemouth, followed by a win against my Wolves, is nothing to write home about. So I think that it'll still be a good match, but I just hope City shows up. That's all. I just hope City shows up and ready to play. All right, then we've got a few matches left here to go, which moves us over to Sunday. Crystal Palace and Brentford is up first here. For this one, Crystal's starting to look like the team. You said it in the last episode for the recap. Crystal's actually starting to look like the team that we hoped that they would be. And I think that they carry it through here. I mean, they've jumped up the table in the past couple weeks. And Brentford is holding steady there in the middle of the table. They lost last week, obviously, to Liverpool, but that's nothing to be sad about. But I think, You know what? I will get... No. Yeah. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw here between Crystal and Brentford. I'm going to change it up even as I'm speaking.
Yeah, this match, as far as the table is concerned, is pretty much as important as the City-Chelsea match for, positioning.
Yeah.
Because if City win, they inch closer to where they want to get to. Then if Chelsea win, they expand the gap. Kind of here with Brentford and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace win, they start to move close to the top 10. They kind of move Brentford out of the way. Brentford win, they're kind of back in the driver's seat of we control our destiny of the top 10. I think Crystal Palace are in good enough form to get a third straight victory. 2-1, they're at home. Brentford has been okay away, but they just give up so many goals. I mean, their goal difference, they've scored 40, but they've given up 39. Crystal Palace just has a little bit more defensive vigor, and I think that shows up here. And they win 2-1.
All right. And then to Tottenham and Leicester City. Now, about, 6 weeks ago, I think this is a no-brainer. But it is now, and we are working with this Tottenham team, who just lost 4-1 last week. And Leicester hasn't really changed, but it's Tottenham that we're talking about here. Can Leicester win?
Well, we've talked about it already, but since the start of December, only Southampton have more losses in the Premier League than Tottenham. Not even Leicester, Tottenham.
Yeah.
7 losses in that span. And apparently Southampton's also the only team to concede more goals. They conceded 25 in that span, Spurs 22. Leicester trying to avoid losing 8 straight. They've lost 8 straight Premier League matches. That's really bad. And I think they avoid it by a 0-0 draw. I think with so many goals going in, so much happening, Tottenham in the midweek played. I think it goes bagel, because I think Tottenham's going to try to figure some things out defensively, especially in a game versus Leicester where Leicester getting points is not going to necessarily hurt Tottenham. It's only Tottenham not getting points that hurts them. I think a draw. I'm going to go a bagel. There's one coming soon. I think it's this one.
You know what? I was almost on the same boat of a draw, but I'm going to give it to Leicester. I think Jamie Vardy gets one in the 90+3 out of nowhere. Just a classic Vardy moment and just totally ruins Tottenham's day. I mean, it's going to be at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's going to be a 0-0 draw in 90th minute. People are already going to be walking out frustrated, and then they're going to hear the away side roar in the 90+3, and they're going to burn down the place, figuratively speaking.
I do think that if this gets into a shootout, I think Leicester has the firepower to keep up.
Yeah.
And Tottenham, they've been getting in shootouts recently, and they've been losing them poorly. So I really do think Tottenham will kind of hunker down and be like, all right, let's not do anything crazy.
Yeah.
But I could see it happening. I could see it.
Yeah, it's definitely a nervous match, especially if you're Postecoglou. You can't lose this one, boy. You can't lose this one, man. Can't do it.
But he can.
He certainly can, and he has proven himself that he is well able to lose matches. But no one's talking about him getting sacked. No one's talking about it at all. Aston Villa and West Ham United is our penultimate match here. I should stop using penultimate. I know it's a fun word, but it's old now. It's tired. The second to last match, Aston Villa and West Ham United. Aston Villa. Listen, Aston Villa. I can't rely on you for anything really this season, but I'm going to lean on you here. I think West Ham is not playing very well right now. I mean, their 3-2 win against Fulham was at home, but since outside of that, they've been outscored by 5, 3, 10 goals in the 3 most recent losses. Yeah, it's not a good look for them. So I think that Aston Villa can certainly take advantage of that, and I think they take it. I'll say they take it just a 1-0 though. I think it's close.
Yeah, I don't trust Aston Villa's defense at all. They played pretty decently in Champions League, but they just haven't been able to get any sort of footing in the Premier League. I mean, they're just giving up goals left and right. I'm going to go 2-2 draw. I'm going to keep that. That's my third 2-2 draw prediction.
Yeah.
Guy, just feels like a 2-2 week.
All right, and then to wrap up the match day, we've got Fulham hosting Manchester United. I'll let you start this one off with the boys from outside of Manchester.
Yeah, this is literally, if Man U lose this, it's going to be tough. And I think they do. I think it's 3-1. I think Fulham's the better team. They're more organized. They're more well coached. And they're still going to have the mindset going into this match that they're the underdog, even though based on play, they should be the team that is predicted to win. And I think that's kind of been hurting Man U as they've been going. Man U's lost that ego about them of like, we are Man U. Teams should fear us when they play us. Nobody's fearing them. At this point, teams are like, well, we can beat them while they're down. Similarly to how teams looked at City not a month ago. It's like they're down, let's beat them and beat the brakes off of them. 3-1 Fulham win, and I think United get one at the end to kind of help cushion the goal difference. But boy, there's not many redeeming qualities about this Man U team.
Yeah, I also had 3-1, which is I really felt good about 3-1 too. But I'm gonna change it. I'll move down. I'll go 2-0 is what I'm gonna go for. No, 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0. Just a full drubbing by Fulham for all the reasons that you said. That Fulham is playing better. They are a team. You know, they feel like they're actually a constructed unit. And I think that Jedi will get himself a good old assist in this one. Good old Anthony Robinson. And Fulham takes full points. Also, I want to get that 222 units. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to change your pick, but this insight here, Fulham have scored exactly 2 goals in each of their last 5 Premier League matches.
We'll go down to 2-0 then. We'll take it down.
Only once in top flight history for them have they netted 2 goals in 6 games in a row.
Let's make it.
So, yeah. I mean,
I'll ride that wave. Let's ride that wave. I'll ride that wave. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of Matchday 23 predictions. We will be back later this on the other side of the weekend with additional material. We'll be recapping this episode and previewing the final match day of the Champions League. Until we get over there, make sure that you like and subscribe and whatever. Leave us a 5-star review on those podcasts. Yeah, this is a podcast as well, if you didn't know. If you prefer podcast methodologies for consumption, then you can leave us a 5-star on all of them. I think we're on all of them. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, what have you, and then go to the Substack and do the Substack subbing. We're going to have some stuff start some stuff on there. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, but until we get back, why don't you go ahead and grab your coffee, watch some soccer, and we'll see you on the other side.